the Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to
That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Up, 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 don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Can you quickly tell everybody what a rug pull is?
Bitcoin stands for freedom, sovereignty, and independence from government, coercion, and control.
Yo, how are the frogs doing? GMoney is back. I was in Miami last week. We are live tonight, so on this April 2nd, the day after April Fool's Day. But no, I was in Miami last week for a music conference or whatever, the Ultra, and I went there for the first time. It was pretty cool. What a great city, though. Like, Miami is such a vibe. Compared to some of the other cities I've been in, you know, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. I don't think I saw one fight. I saw a couple drunk guys, but I didn't see anybody throwing up. Like, it was actually like, I don't know, man. Everything there was really cool. They don't really close. Like, the city does not shut down. Like, you can find a party at literally any time of the day or night with thousands of people just having a good time. And so props to Miami, just a really cool city. I've been there before, of course, but I always forget how cool and special that place is. Probably that's why, you know, Trump chose to put his presidential library kind of right there as well. But what else? What else happened? Nothing, man. It's been fucking boring as hell. I got to be honest. This little bear market we've had has been rough. Like, I think Predator said it pretty good. I know it's cliche, but I really believe we are witnessing the biggest washout of unfaithfuls in Bitcoin's history. We had the president of the United States pump our bags. You really can't have a follow-up act surpass that level of hype. The Lambo Moon Boys, the Suit Coiners, the VCs, the CAGR bros, in it for the bros, they are all getting bored, demoralized, or leaving for the next shiny thing, AI. The ones left will be those with reasonable expectations for what Bitcoin can and what Bitcoin can't do for them. And so, yeah, here we are, right? We're marching on in this uncharted territory. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Right? Who knows? But, there's nothing else really you can do at this point. And so stack as many cheap sats as you can while you can. We don't know how long this sale is actually going to be going on for. So, yeah, enjoy the dip while you can. We're going to have a bunch of people, bunch of haters, no one's getting in because they think it's going to go lower. They think it's over, whatever. It's kind of funny because, it's just like the same thing over and over and over again. But some cool things coming up. Of course, we have GART next week in Nashville, so there will be no Rugpull Radio next week. I will be in Nashville. Let's go ahead and play that ad right now, actually, because, you can still get a virtual ticket. The virtual tickets are actually awesome. We had a live stream today that was available to the virtual ticket holders as well. So let's play this.
Patriots, the fight for truth doesn't stop at the screen. It's hitting the road again. Badlands Media is rolling into Nashville on April 9th through 12th for the next stop on the Great American Restoration Tour. Join your favorite Badlands hosts and like-minded Americans for 3 powerful days. Packed with unfiltered discussions, deep dive panels, and real debate. Hear the raw truth, ask the tough questions. No topic too hot, no question too bold. Our community comes alive. Tickets are on sale at badlandsmedia.tv/guard, where you can also grab a virtual pass and watch from home. Join us to question narratives and fight for America's future. Nashville is calling. The restoration continues. Get your passes today. See you in Music City.
Yeah, so if you can, come out and join us for that. If you can't, grab a virtual ticket, and it's sure to be packed full of full of excitement. I think we're gonna go pretty hard at this one. It's been a while since we've got together. A lot of us have a lot to talk about, and a lot of us have some differing opinions, and so be prepared. It's gonna be a little wild, I think. So check that out. And then of course we've got Bitcoin Las Vegas. I'll be speaking there. They did just release the schedule. So I will be speaking on Monday, April 27th. Of course, this is a pro day. And it's from 4 to 4:30. So not sure why they keep putting me on one of the most important topics on pro day. Still pretty lame, but I guess we'll take it. I don't know what else to say, guys. I have no influence on what day that gets put together. So hopefully you guys can make it. Please show up in your 1776 gear. We are in the 250th anniversary of 76. Let's freaking get after it. If you do not have any gear yet, go to 1776.love, pick up the hat, pick up the shirt, pick up the hoodie, and represent. There's also going to be a guy there handing out a bunch of shirts. He made a bunch of digital 1776 shirts. I think we're just going to tack ours onto the Bitcoin Today guys spaces, probably just do a combined one. Might just be easier that way. And I think it'd be better for us to mix in with that crowd to kind of help push that signal with that crowd, kind of combining forces with them to an extent. So I'll get details to you on that as we get closer to the event. But again, use code Pepe if you want to get 10% off. Okay. It's the Venetian in Vegas. Always an awesome time. And yeah, it's gonna be good this year. And so I obviously, partake in some extracurricular activities, right? Music and all kinds of sort of things. And so, one of our sponsors is a great addition. If you haven't tried Psilocybin, this episode that I'm going to talk about today is probably one of those episodes where you should at least think about looking into some of these things to free your mind, so to say, in ways that, you're not used to. So let's play this out as well.
Earthlings, I'm here on the streets of New York to tell you about something that's literally out of this world. You know, traveling between dimensions really takes it out of you, but I've found the perfect solution. My Shroom Vibe can now be your Shroom Vibe. Elevate your frequency. Get microdose capsules, gummies, and chocolate bars at myshroomvibe.com. Use code Badlands for 10% off your order. Trust me, galaxy hopping demands balance, and ours comes from Mother Nature. Organic, not synthetic. It's the real deal. Psy Lee, if you know what I mean. Check it out. Your frequency will thank you. Visit myshroomvibe.com. Organic goodness, not synthetic. Use code Badlands.
Boom. So definitely check that out. A lot of you think you've picked up some of those guys, and I've got really good feedback from those that have. So again, a way to maybe clear or cleanse the neural pathways to open up different areas of thought in the brain. Since we've been conditioned, we've been programmed, we've been put to sleep in a sense in so many different ways that our level of thinking, even Bitcoin itself, requires you to kind of like, remove yourself from that line of thinking. And it's hard to do, guys. It's actually really hard to do in just your normal day-to-day activities, right? Your normal 9 to 5, whatever that looks like. It can be difficult to figure out like what that looks like. And so, how do you elevate levels? Well, maybe you have to take something to kind of, reset the mind to go there. Some interesting things are happening. Like the Joe Rogan clips are just hitting. So I want to play these because I think they're super important. And so let's get started.
Our government is not here to help the people.
Obviously.
They've been compromised.
That's true.
So are there any rules against when people, but the crazy part is we're working to pay the taxes to keep them doing, it's like,
I know.
And that starts to make you feel sick.
And they're not responsible for any of the fraud and waste.
Yeah.
So you're paying for the fraud, you're paying for the corruption, and they're not responsible. Okay? Like literally. And like Theo, is just very straight about it. And he even goes on further. And Joe Rogan, of course, the cuck he is, slow down, man. Need to get off the medication. Like, fuck off, Joe Rogan. Like, give me a break, you fucking pussy. Right? Here's the second clip.
It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out. And it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going, I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
Nah, dude. Joe Rogan, you know what? That was so fucking not cool. It was so not a vibe. Guys ripping, man. Guys absolutely ripping. And you tear him down to shreds like that at the end. That is such not a vibe. And super disappointed. Joe Rogan had a great opportunity there and he completely botched it. So fuck off, Joe Rogan. Like, you know what? Like, you've done some great stuff, but like this is the real movement here, man. And if you can't recognize that, then like, you're completely lost in this fairy tale of reality that is fake and gay beyond even your comprehension. And that's why I think it's important to kind of like give this Hunter S. Thompson vibe to tonight, because like so many of us, feel like these misfits out of place when in reality, like we're more based than like the general public in their perception of what's going on, because the truth is absolutely way stranger than fiction. And everything is fake and gay, guys. Like, even Patrick Byrne the other day. Fake elections in a fake legal system reported on by fake news. Like, all of it's fucking fake. And so if all of it's fake, like, how deep does the rabbit hole go? We're finding out, like, we're literally paying our taxes to pedophiles, right? And so, well, what does that mean? Well, how far does that rabbit hole go? Well, that goes deeper, man. It goes even a lot deeper, into the realms that, like, I don't know, right? Like, they talked about the crossbreeding humans the other night, which is wild to even think about. But is that possible? I guess. Like, anything's on the table right now. But if you can't let your mind like wander into that fairy tale land, and like while you still have one foot planted in reality, like you can't have both feet in both. You've got to have that mixture. I think that's going to help everyone get the clearest picture of what's going on. And so I'm pretty excited about tonight's episode. I think you guys will like it, and we're going to go through some things that are pretty good here. So let's play a couple more ads, and we'll get to the meat and bones.
Every Easter, one brave bunny takes on a very important mission. Spreading Easter joy. And apparently dropping most of it. And sometimes there's goat-related complications. Skincare's so good even the goats might want it. Because Easter is really about the greatest victory ever. Hope, renewal, and a promise kept. And every soft disclosure purchase supports 6 small American businesses working together. Use code GRACE for 15% off. Soft disclosure, good for your skin, and apparently approved by goats.
Marketing department and AI is absolutely killing it. The things are hilarious. So I guess Burning Bright is basically our mascot AI model for all those things. So anyways, let's get to the last one here. Let's get to River, of course. Stack Sats with River, the Bitcoin-only platform built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. Why River? 0 fee reoccurring buys. Stack Bitcoin effortlessly, hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. 3.5% Bitcoin interest on cash. FDIC insured. No minimums. Withdraw anytime. Expert US-based support. Human help plus private client services for big buys. Think like 100K plus. Business accounts. Boost your balance sheet with Bitcoin and earn 3.5% paid in Bitcoin. Top-tier wallet support. Send, receive, and manage Bitcoin securely. Unmatched security, full reserve custody, multi-sig cold storage, and proof of reserves. Join the Bitcoin revolution at badlandsmedia.tv/river and earn real returns. That's badlandsmedia.tv/river. And if you guys, are using the River app, of course, it has the Lightning network built into it. And if you guys go to Square terminals now, you can actually pay in Bitcoin without the business actually turning that switch on the back end. So you yourself can go up to a Square terminal, and in the top left corner, you can toggle between Bitcoin Lightning or cash. And if you pay in Bitcoin Lightning, like it pays them in cash, the vendor has no clue you even paid in Bitcoin. So they're just automatically going to receive cash from your Bitcoin Lightning, and they're going to save, the 3% on the fee. So amazing job that the Square team is doing. And it's already built into the River app. So you literally just scan the QR code. It automatically knows it's Lightning, and the sats leave your wallet. And that's why it's good to have some Satoshis, on the River app, so you can pay in Bitcoin if you're, going to a business that has a Square terminal. Like that's really, where this is going, peer-to-peer internet cash. And so it's cool to see. It's cool. It's fun for people to be like, oh, wow, it's Bitcoin. I didn't know that did that. And it sparks up a conversation for sure, especially with the business owners. Like I've done a bunch of times actually as well. So let's get in tonight. Dasting's big. It's funny because I was watching the Shia LaBeouf, right? That interview he did at the after his Mardi Gras arrest. And he was a pretty open, like honest guy, man. Like he's actually a lot more intelligent than I thought he was in some of the stuff he was saying. I think he was probably high. He was on the sauce, whatever. But he dropped some pretty strong truth bombs in there. Hunter S. Thompson come up, and I remember that from my past, and I was like, oh man, that's right. Like he said some really cool, interesting shit back in the day that made me think of Bitcoin as like, how do we unwire ourselves from the matrix, right? So here's some quotes, right? I learned a long time ago that reality was much weirder than anyone's imagination. The brutal reality of politics would probably be intolerable without drugs, right? And so that's Hunter Thompson with those two quotes. And so, it's good to keep one foot in reality and one foot in fairy tale land to envision the future. And that's, of course, J.K. Chesterton, which, we'll talk about maybe here in a minute as well. But, here's that famous, matrix analogy Q made, where it said, the deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. The end won't be for everyone. And I think that's, a big problem with Bitcoiners is they don't realize how bad it really is. Like, I think a lot of them think they can just fix some part of the money, you know, and then they can actually, you know, just like walk back into the trance world of this reality that we live in. And like, what is that reality, bro? You know? Well, the reality they've provided for you is a Jewish banker's carve out, right? Literally. You get a 9-to-5 job. You get to sit in a box, drive to a box, work in a box, come home to your box, and you get one vacation a year. And, you know, you save, you get sick, and they milk you till you're dead, right? Like, that's the reality of humans on this planet. And like, that's like super depressing to me. Like, the idea that all of us humans have to just sign up for these, you know, positions, and that's like your life. Like, your position in life dictates who you are. Like, it really is your entire personality at that point. And so, you know, this is a great quote, right? As I said, to put our faith in tangible goals would seem to be at best unwise. So we do not strive to be firemen. We do not strive to be bankers, nor policemen, nor doctors. We strive to be ourselves, right? And he wrote this to a friend in existential crisis. You know, he wrote that letter, right? And so what does that mean? Why is it so hard for us to be ourselves, right? It's because we've been programmed. And I don't know if you guys have heard something called the Ash conformity experiment, but I want to play this clip because I think it absolutely has to do with what's happening in today's society. And that's why it's so hard for us to actually, you know, get to that next level, right? So let me play this clip, and I think it's an important part of this.
The Ash experiment is one of psychology's oldest and most popular. The Ash experiment is one of psychology's oldest and most popular pieces of research. A volunteer is told that he's taking part in a visual perception test. What he doesn't know is that the other participants are actors, and he's the only person taking part in the real test, which is actually about group conformity.
Please begin. The experiment you will be taking part in today involves the perception of line length. Your task will be simply to look at the line here on the left and indicate which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. So, for example, if you...
The actors have been told to match the wrong lines. The volunteer will be monitored to see if he gives the correct answer or if he goes along with the opinion of the group and gives the wrong answer. In the first test, the correct answer is 2.
1. 1. 1.
2. 1. Once again, the correct answer is 2.
3. 3. 3.
3.
3.
The Ash experiment has been repeated many times, and the results have been supported again and again. We will conform to the group. Again, we're very social creatures. We're very much aware of what the people around us think. We want to be liked. We don't want to be seen to rock the boat, so we will go along with the group. Even if we don't believe what people are saying, we'll still go along.
1. 1. 1.
1. Group dynamics is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology.
1. 1.
And, you know, just a great example of, you know, how powerful the group dynamics in society are for the culture to conform to those norms, right? That's literally what we're living through in everything that we do. And the propaganda machines, right? The mainstream media have all programmed us to basically live this way and conform in that same way. And so, like, how do we flip the script, right? Like, what do we have to do to change that? And I think the first thing we need to do is like choose the way you want to live first, right? Like wild, honest, on your own terms, right? And then, right, like jury rig a way to do that. And that's kind of what I did, to be honest with you, right? I was sick of corporate America. I wanted out. I felt like I was being like tortured almost every day. And I'm like, why am I living like this? I don't want to live like this. And now, like, literally, I work on my own term, on my own hours. I give people time to schedule time with me on my own time, on my own schedule that I provide them, right? That they can book time with me. And then I'm traveling, I don't know, probably 10 times a year at least. I'm going on lots of vacations. I went to Europe. I go all over the place now. And I'm really enjoying this part of my life versus what I was doing before, where I was stuck at the same job. I had to be there 9 to 5. Like, I'm out and about all day, every day. And everybody has the opportunity to do this, guys. It's not like, I'm some special case. It just took me a long time. It's taken me 10 years almost to get to this, right? But this is truly the hope and inspiration Bitcoin brings to everybody, that everybody will be able to live on those terms, because that's essentially, I think, how humans were supposed to be able to actually, be able to live. But it's deeper than that too, because if you think about, like, exactly, in the past, for instance, like what happened with kids when they were growing up, like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be this, or I want to do that. Now we have kids that literally, they want to be social media influencers, right? They want to be OnlyFans models, right? Like that's the youth of our country that has completely warped, like, the things and the minds of everyone, so that they're focused on the money and they're not focused on their dreams and like what could be possible. And this is the important point of this, is that you have to kind of expand your brain to get into those realms, because everything else that they're programming you to do is fiat minded, right? The OnlyFans, the social media influencers, how can I make the most amount of money for the least amount of effort? In Nashville, like, listen to what Trump said in Nashville.
Those of you in this room inherit the legacy of generations of American pioneers and patriots, risk takers and renegades who settled this continent, built the modern world, and lived on the bleeding edge. You live on a bleeding edge. You do know that, Bitcoiners, don't you? You are the modern day Edisons and Wright brothers and Carnegies and Henry Fords, and what you do in your lifetime stands a chance to outlive us all and inspire humanity for generations to come. This will go down as a very important day in the history of your industry. Together you are building America's future with your own smarts, your own grit, and your own skin in the game. You have a lot of skin in the game, and that's what you're doing. It takes courage to do it. Most people don't have that courage. My job will be to set you free and to let you do what Americans do best, and what you're going to do better than anybody. Win, win, win. You're going to win, win, win. With energy, passion, and brilliance like we have rarely seen before, our country cannot fail. We're in a failing nation right now, but we're not going to be for long. Our country cannot fail. With your help, we will save our nation, we will restore our republic, and we will make America and Bitcoin bigger, better, stronger, richer, freer, and greater than ever before. Thank you all. Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else that you're playing with. And we're going to make that one of the greatest industries on earth. Good luck, and God bless you all. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
So at the end there, do you think Trump was actually messing around, or do you think he was being serious? Right? The pioneers, the thoughts and ideas that will outlast the generation. Like it's like what he said there was wild, was absolutely wild. And so, the people that have TDS are gonna be like, oh, he was just talking out of his asshole. No, he's being absolutely serious there. And that's what I think a lot of Bitcoiners especially are missing the point with this entire thing, because they think they can just, go back to their 9 to 5 versus like, no, dude, like, be yourself and let the 9 to 5 mold to you somehow. Figure a way out, bro. Be yourself first. And that's what I think, what's most important here. Tucker said it too, right? Here's a little clip from Tucker.
I just feel like getting out of debt was the biggest psychological change that ever happened to me, really. It's like, I'm my own man. I own my house. That's when I started like telling the truth so much they fired me. I paid off my mortgage. It's like, yeah, I have no mortgage. What are you going to do about it? Fire me? Yeah.
You know, so that's just another example of like how the things you own end up owning you, and they actually suck your soul away, right? So they take your soul away from you. But you know, Hunter called this kind of like going Gonzo mode, I guess you could call it, right? He kind of said, here's the quote, I'll pull it up. He said, life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride. And that's truly, I believe, how the American, or not the American, but the human, you know, consciousness, you know, is supposed to be lived, right? It's supposed to be lived kind of on that edge. And how do we do that? Well, we have to expand our minds into what we're thinking, because they have controlled us through fear and safety, fear and safety, fear and safety, right? And that's really doesn't let us be our best selves. And so I'll kind of give, I'll play the clip from his interview where he kind of explains, you know, where it kind of came from.
What is gonzo journalism, and why do you call it that?
That word has really plagued me because first I realized I was doing something different. It's at some point really for Scanlan's magazine rather than Rolling Stone, even before Rolling Stone. But I wasn't really in this country when the new journalism sort of began. And I wasn't sure I was doing that. But I was sure I wasn't doing, what we call straight journalism.
Right.
And after I'd done a story in the Kentucky Derby for Scanlan's, a friend of mine who had covered the New Hampshire primary with me in '68, who's from Boston, and I'd recalled him using this word gonzo in a sort of indefinable kind of way, as kind of nice, crazy, like, zing, gonzo. He wrote me a note saying that Derby piece was pure gonzo. And I thought, well, if that's what it was, I thought it was a brutal failure. I'd botched my assignment. I had to start ripping pages out of my notebook and feeding them into the Mojo Wire and sending them to San Francisco right to the printer out of the notebook. I regarded it as one of my worst failures. And I got this onslaught of mail. Mail called saying I made a great breakthrough in journalism. I thought, well, Christ, if I made it, this breakthrough, we got to call it something. I mean, why call it, another word that's been used? So I just liked the word gonzo, and it seemed to mean what I was doing. There's a mixture of humor and kind of a high stomping style in it. It's a bit more active than your normal journalism.
It's got a great sound, that word gonzo.
Yeah, I'm a word freak. I treat words like music. I like that.
When I read...
and so there him, gonzo, right? Go full gonzo, go full fuck him. We talk about it, kind of all the time. But it's kind of like, brave the storm instead of hiding on the shore, right? And so the happier your soul is, for the one who faced the unknown, not the one who merely existed behind, reinforced concrete, is really what this is about. Security itself is kind of a trap, and real living demands courage to depart, the cushion, and to basically jump into the chaos, right? And just be like, yo, I'm here. And really, like, the gonzo truth is like a full contact philosophy, right? Like, ditch the fake objective lens of the old world, insert yourself into the story, right? With the filters, everything. And, perception is part of that. But like, live it. Drugs, guns, chaos, madness, like, contempt for any kind of authority. And, just be honest. I think is what's the realest part of this. And chase the real American dream. The real American dream isn't working 9 to 5 and getting a vacation twice a year or once a year. It's really about much more than that, and we have to really figure out what that means, right? You're not a role, right? You're like the pattern you choose. So really it's up to you to make that choice, right? Like live for the functioning, not for the finish line. Embrace that edge, right? The risk, the subjectivity, the raw experiences over every kind of other safe illusion out there. But like at the end of the day, like be yourself unapologetically. And you can use this in any way you want to. Like I get it, right? Like I do crazy stuff. I'm like, stop paying your fucking income taxes. Well, like, I don't know, maybe you guys have your own ideas, but really, Thompson, me, all these other people, we're kind of like handing you a grenade pin and saying like, yo, pull this when you want, but like on your own terms. And so his life was proof of that. And I think it's, I think it's brilliant. I think more people need to do it and have that kind of mantra of like, yo, here's the grenade. I gave it to you. Like, pull the pin when ready. Prepare yourself, right? Soft war. Figure out multi-sig cold storage. Don't have a bunch of assets on the state ledger. And then, go Gonzo. Like, when you're ready, go full Gonzo. And I think, there is, there's a lot of fun we can have with this, and there's a lot of power that can be had with this. And so the other quote I want to put in here from J.K. Chesterton was about mysticism, right? Like mysticism keeps men sane. As long as you have mystery, you have health. When you destroy mystery, you create morbidity. The ordinary man has always been sane because the ordinary man has always been a mystic. He has permitted the twilight. He has always had one foot in earth and the other in fairyland. He has always left himself free to doubt his gods, but unlike the agnostic of today, free to believe in them, he has always cared more for truth than for consistency. If he saw two truths that seemed to contradict each other, he would take two truths in contradiction along with them. His spiritual sight is stereoscopic, like his physical sight. He sees two different pictures at once and yet sees all the better for that. Thus, he has always believed that there was such a thing as fate, but also such a thing as free will. And so, anyways, I thought that was super interesting. And I thought we need to talk more about it just because it seems like on the daily, people are getting more and more fed up with whatever we're going through on the daily. And, so here we are. When are you ready to pull that grenade pin is the question. I think we're getting closer and closer to that every day. Every day, the more bullshit comes out. But at the end of this too is like, go figure out what that life is you want to live. Here's this little kid, talking about the moon.
Why do you want to be here? Why do you love space? Why do you love being a part of history?
We're going back to the freaking moon, that's why.
That clip was hilarious because here we are with kids that are dreaming about that instead of being social media influencers, which is a good thing, right? We should absolutely promote that way of thinking. Another clip from Tucker talking about revolution. Everybody tries to doomer on Tucker when he's like basically kind of like Elon, kind of like these other guys, like slowly walking everybody through in the most normie way possible of what's basically happening. And so here's Tucker.
I think it's very good, in fact, necessary to force leaders to do what they say they're going to do. Otherwise, come on, dude, we're moving toward one of two endpoints. One is a totalitarian society where you just don't have the option of disagreeing. You have to obey because you've got programmable digital currency and universal surveillance, and you just have to do what they say or they'll starve you to death.
It's not going to work here.
I hope it. I pray it doesn't.
It's not going to work.
We're going to have a revolution. It's one of the two. We're getting totalitarian government or revolution.
It's going to work for a little bit, and then it's not going to work anymore.
I pray you're right. I'm a gold buyer on that basis, an ammo buyer. But again, I have no track record of seeing the future. But I'm convinced that the current course won't work because it's a lie. If you tell people they own the government, they're in charge, they rule through the representatives in this democratic republic, that's what we've told, that's our system, has been for 250 years. If you tell them that's the system and you don't deliver on it, they go crazy. They go totally crazy. If you tell them, and by the way, I've spent a lot of time in
What do you think happens when a government takes everybody's currency in a country that has more fucking guns and ammunition than anywhere else in the entire world?
I mean, as I've said a million times,
it works for a little bit. And then when the desperation kicks in, that shit doesn't fucking work.
Well, so that's exactly, we're saying the same thing. We're moving toward totalitarianism or revolution, violent revolution. By the way, if you tell people they can't say what they think and their vote doesn't matter, how many options have you left for them? Just one. Violence.
Very fucking many.
That's right. So don't do that. Don't do that. It's much better to give a little. And you do this with your kids, especially when they become teenagers. You reach a point where it's like, you can smell the defiance on them. How do I handle this? Just punch them in the face? Cut them off? Starve them out? No. You listen. You make it clear that you're in charge. You'll be deciding. But you take their position into consideration because you have to, because they're becoming adults. You have to be a little flexible. No, you can't smoke weed at the breakfast table. Like, there's some things you will never accept. But you can't ignore every single signal you're getting from your children. Well, your population's very similar.
I'm getting really angry right now.
Why?
I think we should go. I think we should go out back and blow some shit.
Sorry.
Break.
So here's two guys that obviously understand what's happening, but then if you're gonna take our currency away, we have all the guns. Bro, you're already cooked at that point. Don't you understand? You're already cooked. And so, how do Sean Ryan not get it, right? And Tucker, of course, says he's buying gold, right? Okay, but yeah, it's just kind of hilarious at this point that really, we're this far ahead still. It's kind of it's kind of unnerving, guys. I got to be honest. It's a little freaking nerving. But anyways, let's get on to the Pepe of the week. And of course, there is a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas Pepe. This is, of course, Raul Duke Pep. And the, what is there, 100 of these? Yeah. These go for about $351. A little covfefe there was for the last sale. And there's 100 of these. These were produced in 2018. And this is done by Pepe Fam. So cool Pepe honoring Hunter Thompson's work. And if you guys want to know about the Pepe the Frogs, the Bitcoin NFTs, where we think a lot of mysticism actually exists, go check out the Pepe Project on Telegram. We're there pretty much every day. You'll see the flat earthers going nuts right now over that stuff in there. But anyway, let's transition to the circus news of the week. Of course, we have the biggest circle jerk in history, which was, of course, the $122 billion largest private funding round in history for OpenAI, which included NVIDIA, Amazon, right? You name it. And of course, the reason all those memory products were going off were on promises made by, of course, the CEO of OpenAI, who has not come clean on those. And so we see actually memory prices crashing, right? Funny enough, you can't sell promises in the future that don't actually come through. So anyways, we'll see what happens with that circle jerk. Of course, the quantum FUD is going around because Google released a new paper saying that the computers could break Bitcoin much faster, which is complete bullshit. It hasn't really changed much at all. And again, back in 2010, a user, Llama, asked what would happen if signatures were compromised due to quantum computers and whether it would make Bitcoin worthless. True, if it happened suddenly, if it happened gradually, we can still transition to something stronger. When you run the upgraded software for the first time, it would re-sign all your money with new, stronger algorithm. So Satoshi knew, this is not a problem. This is probably 10 years into the future, if that, and not even if more, potentially. And And so, you know, the new quantum FUD is kind of like, you know, the old, you know, what is it? Global warming, COVID-19. It's just more fake news to essentially stop the, you know, stop the adoption of Bitcoin. Of course, as mentioned earlier, Square turned on Lightning payments for 4 million Bitcoin merchants today. So now it's technically accepted everywhere. You just have to toggle the switch yourself. And it's pretty cool. Our guy, Dennis Porter, is back in action. He was gone for, God, I don't know how many months. And so a new U.S. Senate Bitcoin bill has been introduced that will codify the Bitcoin strategic reserve, create budget neutral Bitcoin purchases, boost U.S. Bitcoin mining manufacturing, and recognize Bitcoin mining as an energy tool. Okay. And so, guys, this is just an introduction of a bill. It's likely not that big of a deal because like thousands of bills get introduced all the time. How many actually make it to the floor? Well, less than like what, 5%, less, maybe even than that. So let's not get our hopes up too quick, but it's a good step in the right direction. And our favorite politician cuck, Dennis, is back. So prepared for more breaking news that amounts to nothing. He loves the clickbait. Just in, the US dollar bill is to be printed with President Trump's signature, removing the treasurer's signature for the first time. So Daddy Trump's signature will be on all money from here on out. And I think it even is more hilarious because it's going to trigger the hell out of everybody. It's kind of like Trump coin, right? He's turning our dollars into the total shit coin. So it's kind of funny that his crypto coin is coming full circle. And now he's actually turning the dollar into a shit coin as well. Yeah. And so we also had, Percent launch a anti-fraud where you actually get paid for a dime on someone that may be involved in fraud.
I don't know, Joe, but it's very exciting. I think it's going to be a great way to ferret out waste, fraud, and abuse, starting in Minneapolis, which has been ground zero. So we are encouraging whistleblowers who know about fraud, people who are stealing from the American taxpayer, to come forward. At Treasury, we're setting up a website, and we will be giving rewards up to 10 to 30% of the fines that we levy.
So there you go. You can drop a dime. I don't know. That seems more kind of Soviet than anything, but I guess if they're illegal immigrants and you want to drop a dime, go for it. What else we got? We did have the Trump Miami Library that's going to be happening. This is a cool video he posted. So that was pretty badass. What else do we have? Well, we have like this war still going on where Trump says like they pretty much dismantled everything. But if you look what's happening in Tel Aviv, like there's a different story. So here's Trump.
Look at our military. The Democrats don't want that.
And when I read the fake New York Times, you take a look at it, it's like, oh, they're putting up a good fight. They're not putting up a fight. They're not even shooting at us, okay? We have planes are just ruling the sky. We have airplanes. Those two. We have airplanes. Nice, right? Lincoln with a little modern touch.
Right? They're not even shooting at us. Meanwhile, in Tel Aviv,
Well, we've been watching the Supreme Court. Israel is being pounded by Iran. Sirens sounding over Tel Aviv as a barrage of missiles hit the nation. Let's bring in Jonathan Hunt with more. Jonathan.
Kaylee, Israel in general and Tel Aviv in particular have been under almost constant bombardment throughout the day today. One of the most intense bombardments, in fact, since the very early days of this war. Just about an hour ago, we had an hour-long series of sirens. We watched as the interceptors were launched from this area at those missiles, which came in one after another from Iran. And this, remember, this...
They're not even shooting at us. You're right. They're not shooting at us, but they're definitely shooting at Israel. So here's saying we got regime change by accident. Just by accident.
We have regime change. We got it by accident. We actually got it by accident because I never liked the idea of, the regime change thing is too complex to put it down on a wish list, because if you don't make it with me, if I don't make it, I end up ahead. He didn't get so I never say I wanted it. So I never talked about regime change, but we got it.
So most likely he took out the Israeli Mossad puppet Khomeini that was working hand in glove with Mossad to obviously, pump the narrative, get dumb Americans to send more money, and get more Americans to die for nothing. So anyways, it seems like the 5D chess move is one of the most brilliant to date, and we're living through it. Like the war is real, the news is fake in that. And so Trump also came out and talked about crypto recently. Let's hear what he had to say.
Bitcoin's very powerful. It's all becoming powerful. So many people now, they want to pay you in crypto, they want to pay you in Bitcoin. And we have to be at the top of it.
Very powerful. Bitcoin is very powerful. I love how, he makes so much noise, but the signal Trump puts out is insanely crazy when he does. And of course, with inflation going crazy, retailers are launching digital prices now to where everything in the store will have a little digital ID tag that they can just update over Wi-Fi. And so by the time you buy something, by the time you get to checkout, the price may go up.
America's biggest retailers rolling out digital shelf price labels for all its stores by the end of the year. Walmart says that having digital price labels will help its store personnel do their jobs better and more effectively and ensure that prices are more uniform across different geographies. But the move is somewhat controversial, as some are worried that having the ability to quickly adapt price labels on the fly could lead to things like demand-based pricing that shifts prices for higher or lower depending on how changing dynamics happen for supply chains. Now, some lawmakers are already in the process of introducing legislation to ban the use of digital shelf labels, or DSLs.
There we go. Welcome. All right. What else did we have going on? We had a little bit of strange signal come out. We had, of course, the U.S. debt clock talk about no more income tax, and that the U.S. Treasury would be asset-backed dividend dollar, 3% per year. Okay, so no more income tax, folks. It's going to take, I think, more than just talking about it. It's going to take some actual action. Then, of course, we had on the 33rd day of the Iranian war, April Fools, the Artemis, right? The NASA launched a 322-foot tall rocket to the moon. So some kind of numerology craziness going there. We also had some software going on with AI. And so what happened was basically the software, they open sourced it, like they accidentally released all the source code. So this isn't just about a tech oopsie. This is the dawn of the software era. A giant company backed by billions of dollars, expensive lawyers, politically connected, tied to the intelligence apparatus, completely lost control over a crucial issue to a random guy on the internet, and there's nothing they can do about it. And it all happened in a couple of hours. All their abstract power, plus some of their real power, was useless. The power pyramid is getting the fuck flipped out of it. As things progress, cyber skills will become more deadly than physical skills, thanks to Bitcoin AI plus robotics, whose convergence make the formerly abstract cyberspace very real. How it happened. Claude accidentally leaks parts of its source code, not the model itself, but important trade secrets. People upload it to their GitHub, start tinkering and forking. Anthropic scrambles, hitting them with DMCA takedown notices. Random dude uses another AI model to completely rewrite the source, but in Python, making it immune to DMCA requests. New source code is forked 100,000 times. And this is absolutely a beautiful thing to see happen, because this is how we're going to get AI not to be woke, right? This is how we're going to get it to be based as fuck. And we're going to be able to open source all these things in the future so that everybody can do their own modeling based upon, how they want to program it. Okay. We did have Satoshi Stack spread across over 22,000 addresses. And even if a quantum could crack one UTXO per day, it would take over 66 years. Now apply this to the reality. Quantum is nowhere near cracking one UTXO per day, more like decades to years. Quantum FUD is a non-issue, but if you look at the number of coins, it's actually 2271, and Satoshi has 1,123,540. So 1,123,540 coins that have never been touched. Pretty cool. Okay. And so, as we progress into this new age, right? Elon the other day, we had 2 Falcon 9 launches in one day. The pace SpaceX is launching is just insane. For the rest of the space industry, it takes months or years to pull off one of these. In 4 or 5 years, there will be a launch every hour. Every hour, guys. Do you understand like how big this entire space thing is? So for the space is fake, flat earth morons out there, like you guys are going to get absolutely trounced when this is happening on the daily. Okay. And SpaceX is IPOing, right? With over 8,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheet, which is, again, amazing. What else do we have? We had Lori put something out recently talking about if only there were organizations, Department of War, NSA, actively working to produce robust post-quantum encryption schemas for the sake of U.S. national security. And if only there were someone devoted to the task of convincing those organizations of the U.S. national security imperative of Bitcoin adoption, then perhaps we could work together. Well, Lori is talking about, all the stuff probably happening behind the scenes, just teasing us with more stuff. And so we hope Mr. Lori, Major Lori, is doing well. But here's also a great quote that was posted just the other day I think is relevant. This is also from 3 years ago, mind you. 3 years ago, guys. 3 freaking years ago, we've been following this stuff. It's freaking wild. Anyways, in the future, people's lives will be defined by whether or not they took the time to understand and acquire Bitcoin before the God candle hit. I think that's probably going to happen, you guys, like more and more as this price gets suppressed for literally reasons that are unknown to mankind. We're at 66K or something, whatever. And it's wild to see with how much adoption, how much Bitcoin sailors buying, how much the institutions are buying, how much the sovereigns are buying, how much individuals are buying. Like there is a constant bid. And so at some point, you guys, like absolute scarcity is absolutely going to come into play. Okay. Of course, we had Elon quoting a Bitcoin NFT token on Counterparty. He somehow made a GIF in Grok of the token. Somebody asked him to animate it. So he animated it for whatever reason. And then, of course, Sailor, Elon Grok's Bitcoin, right? And so we've been all over this. numerous times. This is actually a Bitcoin NFT, layer 2 counterparty, which I just talked about in the Raul Pepe we posted earlier, that we've been talking about for God knows how many years now. So anyways, fun times. Times. And so what else do we get? The Rugpulls of the week. All right. So again, 0 days since the last Rugpull. Okay. As soon as the Artemis rocket launched, the shitter was full. So literally, the 4 people on board do not have access to a shitter, and apparently it broke. So there you go. I don't know how that's going to work, but apparently it's going to work. Jack Mallers entered Q2 and still has not announced to investors what their plans to generate revenue are. Jack, what's going on, my man? Right? I beat you in the March Madness tournament because I rigged it. I put some bots on it to beat you in that thing for whatever reason. Because I wanted to show how fake and gay polls actually were on the internet. But my man, you're getting wrapped up in politics. Don't you have companies to run? Here's Mahler's going off on Trump the other day.
How dumb do you think I am? Rubio says Iran war to last weeks, not months, with no U.S. ground troops needed. Okay, well then what the f*** is this? What's the letter to the Marines saying, prepare your family, we're going to war? The U.S. sent troops to the Middle East to be deployed. So these are all in our face lies. I'm a young guy in America. I got pulled out of 2nd grade during 9/11. So mind you, my entire experience is just full of being lied to. Somehow, no matter who's the president, we're in conflict. Bush, conflict. Obama, conflict. Biden, conflict. Trump, conflict. Spend, spend, spend. Debt, debt, debt. Lie, lie, lie. War, war, war. This isn't a blue thing. This isn't a red thing. This isn't a left thing. This isn't a right thing. This is government's gotten too big. They have a monopoly on printing money. They can finance these things. They can steal our wealth through dilution, through inflation. And so if you want to revolt against this, you gotta just pack your bags and get out. The whole system is ridiculous. The whole system is a fraud. The whole system is pathetic. And we're better off building something else, building something new, saving in something else, saving in something new.
All right, Jack. So when are you going to join Digital 1776, my brother? We are waiting for you, right? Stop with the rug pulls and join the team. Naka unfortunately sold some of their Bitcoin. So yeah, that was kind of a rug pull, guys. So Naka sold, I think, 20 million worth of Bitcoin at a big loss. Not a great look. They needed working capital. I don't know what to tell you. Of course, Nakamoto did integrate the Bitcoin conference as part of its portfolio. But that event's happening here in 25 days, right? So still going to go on, but not good optics for sure. The CIA Mossad account Anonymous is upset that the U.S. might be leaving NATO because it's an Israeli and Russian goal. It weakens Europe's defense against Russia and opens up Turkey to be attacked by Israel and the U.S. Well, too fucking bad, you Mossad CIA cutout. Fuck around and find out. So that was a nice little rug pull. We, of course, had the IRS guidance reminding drug dealers and thieves they must report their income goes viral as tax season approaches the U.S. And so a gentle reminder that if everything goes for a fee, you are a slave to criminal gangsters, not a government, which is correct. And then, of course, we do have the MSTR kill shot where the degens are arguing if it gets below 1 EBNAV, will it be checkmate on Sailor? I don't know. Fuck around and find out, guys. Try to liquidate Sailor. Let's see how that works out for you. So that's kind of funny, but I don't think they're going to be able to accomplish that. And then finally, this rug pull was pretty funny. So Israelis are dining out at restaurants, waiting for a missile to arrive. And the moment the sirens go off, they flee to avoid paying the bill. The phenomenon has spread throughout the Zionist entity, and restaurant owners are calling for solutions. Talk about a Jew thing. God, that's the most Jewish thing I've ever heard of. Skipping out of the bill once the alarm goes off. They probably have their own alarms in their pockets waiting to ring it after they've eaten. Freaking hilarious. Hilarious. And I think that's really it, guys. Just kind of a short little, sweet little rug pull tonight. Back from Miami. I'll be out next week in Nashville. And yeah, I guess Shade Lay, we'll catch you in 2 weeks. See ya.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
Just like how the black community turned the word nigga into something positive, us Goyim should turn the word Goyim into something positive. That's why I'm forming the Goyim Task Force. We're tired of hundreds of nigazillions of dollars getting sent to Israel's pedophile Zionist Jews. We're tired of all that shit. So the Goyim Task Force is created to fight against these pedophile Zionists who hate white people and anybody who's not Jewish. The term Goyim should be uniting us because in their eyes, all of us, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Mexican, you're cattle. All of us, we're all Goyim. So why don't we all just form together and attack them? If they all think we're animals, why don't us animals come together and fight them?
I'm not a fan of Bitcoin, believe me, never was.
Bitcoin is just a hyped up fraud.
I just traded 10,000 Bitcoins for pizza.
Bitcoin is an index for money laundering.
I'd rather have bananas than Bitcoin.
Bitcoin days are numbered.
It will suffer the same fate as online gambling.
Oh, folks, how silly we were. Classic no coiner takes.
You guys are still buying Bitcoin? That thing's a scam.
I want people to start to change their thinking a little bit about there's a bunch of bankers sitting in a boardroom in the city of London pressing buttons. No, the city of London equals the system they implemented 400 years ago. That system is being systematically dismantled by Trump globally. All the nodes, like Cuba is all of the intelligence for South America. Iran controls the largest choke point and all of basically the coming and going of shipping of oil around the planet. The insurance maritime thing being taken away from London was such a massive move. Now, what's in Ireland? Ireland has the 5th largest global international bank, and all of Europe's shadow banking basically goes through Ireland. So Trump is now hinting, exposing the UK, exposing NATO, making them look like fools. I tested them. I don't know if you guys watched the meeting today with Trump. It was fantastic. He's like, I tested them. They failed.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.
delay, my friends.
Because you're living an illusion. I can't wait till it hits you. Recollection, your misconception. Obsessed, you say the green is success. Well, material gain causes serious stress. More love, because you're living an illusion. Wake up now, yes, you're living in confusion. You're not a scholar, you're a waste of a teacher. Preach the dollars, you're a waste of a preacher. Love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve. More love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve now. Yep, you gotta see clearer. Clear on up, stay up and stay clear up. Go back to basics, look in the mirror. You're in a dream, wake up and now gear up. Come on, love, continually loving, that's realer. Make up your mind and emerge as a leader. Now it connects many, many y'all feed off. Rise up above, cause the youth stay feed off. Love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve. More love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve now. You gotta see clearer. Yep, you gotta see clearer. More love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve now.